Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and I am back at it again with some more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the Super Limit Breaking Neo DLC or DLC Pack 4 update here on the channel. Let's talk about every single brand new character that is getting added to this DLC. There are over 30 plus new characters that they're adding in this single DLC. This is going to be a pretty expensive DLC. Again, I've been seeing some people ask, like, how much is this going to be? There hasn't been a confirmed, I guess, release date or even a confirmed price yet. We'll probably have to wait for that when it drops. But the fact that, you know, it's so massive means that it's likely going to be at minimum $30. I'll be surprised if it's cheaper than 30, okay? And that could just be like the very like low end, right? This could be 30 to 40, maybe even get to $50. I really hope it doesn't, just because you know, the season pass for the first 3 DLCs ended up being, I believe, $35 if you buy it separately on its own. So I'm going to go with the assumption that this is going to be around the same amount, maybe $35, right? Maybe push to 40, right? Because it's way bigger, way bigger. You're getting a lot more content, right? But yeah, 30 plus new characters. A lot of them became big surprises. We're going to be breaking down every single one of them that are updated on the website. This is all new stuff that they, you know, kind of updated on all 3 different websites. I know that's crazy. There are 3 different websites for Sparking Zero. There's a English, US, I guess, North American one. We also have a Europe one, I guess, or like the UK version. And then we have the Japanese one, which there's a little bit of information, a little bit of, you know, things that are different. So what do we need to talk about? There are apparently not the full, like, roster. The full roster has not been shown yet. They've only shown, I think, 28 characters. Shoutouts to Anti-Plug Media, aka Mobile Suit Rock, the GOAT. Every character coming to Sparking Zero in the new DLC, over 30. So there are at least 3 more. At minimum, there should be at least 3 more characters to be revealed. Now, that doesn't mean that's just it. That doesn't mean that they're only, you know, they're holding back only 3 characters. They could be holding back, you know, 5 characters. 8 characters, right? They say over 30, so our assumption is that it doesn't go over 40, right? It could be 39 characters at the maximum, and who knows, you know, maybe there's more and they're just saying 30 plus because they felt like it, right? But yeah, if it's 30 plus, I definitely think it's going to be more than just 3 characters. You know, I could absolutely be wrong, but 3 characters minimum, 39 probably maximum, right? If they're going to be adding more. So if it's 39, that would be what? Like maybe like 11 to 12 more characters that they haven't shown. I wouldn't get your hopes up on that, but at the same time, I legit thought we were only getting like 10 to 11 new characters from what they shown in the first teaser trailer, and they blew me away. Okay, I cannot, I don't speak for everybody, but, you know, I definitely was very surprised. Like that is like a 100% one of the craziest reveals we've had for this game, just because I really genuinely wasn't expecting, because there were no leaks on this, right? They didn't leak. It was just all up to speculation, like, oh, okay, they're gonna maybe add a few more, right? But no, I genuinely didn't believe they were gonna go that hard, and that's because my expectations were kind of, you know, set at a certain limit, and I was gonna be okay with, like, you know, 11 characters for this pack. But hey, over 30, even better. So 28 total so far. We'll go over every single one of them here. Shoutouts to, I think, Vinixis, because they had all the images, which we'll go over. These are taken from the website and everything. Man, every single character, with the exception of, I believe, Devilman. I don't know why they're being weird about Devilman. They still haven't shown what he looks like. I mean, we've seen, like, the back of him. We've seen an ass shot of him, but not an actual, like, face. I'm not sure why they're being weird about it, and they're not wanting to show that. You know, I guess, you know, because it's Devilman, they got to make it all special. But yeah, Devilman appears in the trailer, but his official render and everything has not been released yet. Okay, so they showed 20. They are only showing 27, I think, characters here on every single website. So these are HD shots that I wanted to go over just because they're clear. They don't have any grain and noise and shit that are taken directly from the trailer. We have Grandpa Gohan, I believe, is the first one here. Starting with him. This is all, I think, in order from, like, OG Dragon Ball to Z to, like, GT and, like, Super in the movies. There are not many Dragon Ball Super characters added to this, right? I think total there are, I want to say 3, and the rest are OG Dragon Ball and GT, and obviously some movies as well, right? So I do find that kind of funny and interesting because that's kind of what people were wanting, right? We had a lot of new Dragon Ball Super characters added to the roster in the base that basically replaced a lot of these other characters that we're getting now, okay? So again, I want you guys to think of it in that way. If you think about it as the like half empty kind of mindset, then you're gonna make yourself more mad, okay? The way I think about it and the way I see it is that they had a set amount of time and a set amount of resources to put characters in this game, and instead of focusing on some of the OG, some of the movies, and some of the GT, right, and even some of the Z characters, they decided we're going to put our resources towards adding as many Dragon Ball Super characters as we possibly could. And for the most part, I think they did a very good job with their Dragon Ball Super editions, right? But if you don't like Dragon Ball Super, you're obviously not going to give a fuck. And if you like OG Dragon Ball Z movies and GT, then yeah, I can understand why you're going to be more upset that your favorite didn't get added, but you know, now they are. So it's just an unfortunate allocation of resources when it comes to where these characters went, okay? But there's still going to be people saying like, oh, well, because it's Tenkaichi sequel, it has to have every single character from the other game or whatever. And it's like, I get that, but at the same time, it's like you gotta cut them some slack. They rushed this shit out. We all know they had to rush it out for the fucking Daima series for the anime, right? And that could be a Shueisha thing or maybe even a Capsule Corporation thing. I have no idea if that's a Bandai thing. I don't know who made the decision to where it's like, oh, we have to rush this out ASAP, but moving on, we have Mercenary Tao here, looking good. Oh man, they really did a good job with his mustache, man. Look at the like each individual strand of hair. Like these models look very good, man. We got Demon King Piccolo, which we've seen a million times. Super Saiyan Bardock confirmed. Zanga, we got a new shot of her looking very good. Her model is absolutely gorgeous. Pycon looks awesome, dude. I've used a lot of mods of Pycon, and nothing against the mods. I think they look pretty good for being free things, but seeing an official DLC model for Pycon is nice. It really is, and he's doing his Thunder Flash. Again, the confirmation of Hellfighter 17, you know, I was kind of going back and forth on whether or not they would make him a playable character, but I finally, you know, was convinced by looking at some of the V-Jump scans when we first got him, because I was like, hey, it's an actual fusion. Like, you're actually going to be able to fuse a normal DBZ-17 and a Hellfighter 17 into, you know, this version. We're also should be getting an outfit for, I'm going to assume it's the DBZ-17 that has the trench coat, the long, like, brown coat. That should be the Z version of him, because he was, you know, that's how he looked at the end of Z, except he had a blue one. And then in GT, they got it to where it's like that, right? So, yeah, Hellfighter 17 is the one that just looks like Z17. So, I know it's confusing, but as you can see here, he is using a brand new skill, I believe. I think this is new, which is like this like crazy purplish beam or whatever. I could be wrong about that. I don't remember much of what 17 had at his moveset. But moving on here, we do have a confirmation of Super 17. Again, you can fuse. You should be able to fuse. They confirmed it in V-Jump that DBZ-17 and Hellfighter 17 will be able to merge together. So you put them on your team, and you can make Super 17. Tenkaichi 3 did not have that, okay? So again, I want to reiterate this. Like, I understand there are a lot of people who love Tenkaichi 3, and I still think it is one of the best Dragon Ball Z and just Dragon Ball games of all time, right? But I'm going to be honest, Sparking Zero, with this release and what they're adding and everything, might actually be, like, just better, in my opinion, right? I mean, I think they far exceeded, when it comes to characters in the roster, they have exceeded. There are still a few of them that are missing from the original Tenkaichi roster, but eventually they're going to add them. And then it's like, to me, there's just no reason for me to go back to Tenkaichi 3, right? Like, if I want to play a Tenkaichi game, I'm playing Sparking Zero now, okay? That's just me. I don't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying it. Like, I want to play a 4K HD version of the game that plays even smoother, in my opinion, and it works out. There's a new shot of Champa looking like a fat fuck. Let's go. Nom! I'm genuinely very excited about Nom. I was asking for him whenever we first got our initial teaser trailer of this. I was like, man, I really hope they eventually add Nom, because I love his cross-arm dive. He looks so cool, dude, and it's just such an iconic scene from the anime, and his like trademark move right here. So he looks really fucking good. We have Aider. Okay, so they're just calling him Aider on here, okay? And this is on the English website, so I wonder if they're just going to call him Aider, or if they're going to call him Android 8. I can't remember what they called him in the original Tenkaichi games. I feel like in the original Tenkaichi games, they called him Android 8, right? But 8's cool with me, right? Him being playable is a big plus. I cannot wait to hear the interaction between him and Android 16. I hope there is one. I think there was one in the original games. General Blue, this motherfucker, he's getting added. Honestly, big surprise. He really is. But at the same time, he was in the original Tenkaichi game. He was one of the characters, along with Ader and all these other OG Dragon Ball characters, that I made a whole video on where I was like, all right, well, these are all the OG Dragon Ball characters that we still don't have yet. You know what I mean? So that's really, really cool. Tora! Yes, dude. Now, Tora was not playable in the original Tenkaichi games. He was actually, I believe, a scrapped character. I don't know if it was like a beta or if it was like a preview initially. Tora was definitely planned to be playable along with Fasha, but he never got in. So this is really fucking cool. He does have his flame bullet technique. This is what he uses. I mean, in Dragon Ball Legends, he basically uses a move like this. I don't know if they're going to call it something different, but basically this move is like a blue ki blast, and it lights them on fire. It literally like lights the opponent on fire, so it's pretty cool. He does this, I think, in the anime to one of the... I forgot the name of the race. The guy who gives Bardock the future powers or whatever, so... I'm really excited to see what else Tora's got in his repertoire. Fasha, she looks absolutely gorgeous. This is, in my opinion, one of the best models in the game. They've definitely improved the models significantly compared to the base game characters. If you compare her face to a character like Caulifla, I hope they have an interaction, by the way. That'd be awesome. Her facial features and everything look a lot better, right? And, I mean, I know they went for a certain art direction with Caulifla, Kaba, and Kale. But, yeah, as a Saiyan, you know, a Saiyan woman, this is an ideal face. Like, this doesn't even really look like a Shintani style. This actually looks a lot closer to how she looked in DBZ. So, they did a very good job of that. And I wish that they would, you know, keep that going, right? Again, I have nothing against Shintani's designs. I think they look good, but I've said this before. Some designs just don't translate the best when it comes to certain character appearances, right? Chilled is getting added. We did speculate and talk about this back in, I think, one of my very first videos where I was talking about Super Saiyan Bardock specifically. I was like, well, if we're having Super Saiyan Bardock, it's kind of weird they wouldn't add Chilled. Like, we got to have Chilled, right? That was the guy, he beat his ass, right? So, yeah, he does his, like, specific... death ball technique. Dalza also coming. All right, he looks good, right? He looks pretty good. Again, facial features and everything look good. Hair, I feel like the hair could look a little bit better, but I mean, again, Sparking Zero's hair is a little bit odd at times, but I'm glad he made it in. He is a very important, unique character that is part of the Cooler Squadron or whatever the fuck the name is, and he uses a uses a Keyblade thing, so that's cool, right? Mighty Mask, again, weird, very odd. This is one of those characters along with like Kid Oob where I'm like, I don't think anybody was asking for them to be playable necessarily. I could be wrong about that. I'm sure every single one of these characters has at least one fan out there. I do genuinely think this is cool though, because it's so fucking wacky and weird, right? But yeah, it looks like Trunks is doing big tree cannon. But yeah, hey, in a sense, we get a new Goten, so that's a plus. That's a W to me. Even though it's just Goten's fucking eyes and his legs. That's all you get. That's hilarious. So, yeah, I'm hoping... You know how... Bro, I know they're not... I mean, they're definitely not going to do this, but it would be really cool if the ultimate... Unless this is the ultimate right here, which I think it is. Because they do go Super Saiyan. In the anime, they actually do transform into Super Saiyan, but obviously if they did that, they would have to make it like a separate character. Yeah, whatever. Supreme Kai is coming. There is no Kabito Kai confirmed yet. That could be one of the potential, at minimum, 3 extra characters that they are adding and for whatever reason didn't want to show. Don't know why. But Supreme Kai is finally coming. Long overdue. This is a character that was in the base of the Tenkaichi games. So, yeah, he needed to be in. Again, Kid Oob, I have nothing against Kid Oob. I think this is awesome. That's cool that they're adding him in. I think it works because we're also getting an End of Z Goku outfit, so it kind of goes into that theme. A lot of the outfits and stuff are themed around some of the characters that are getting added as well, which is really cool. So, yeah, I think that's a plus. This is definitely, you know, a W. getting more, different types of characters and even like, more like kid characters is kind of cool, right? I know we had a lot of Daima mini characters that got added, but for a character like Oob, who has almost no representation in a lot of these Dragon Ball games, we just have like Base Oob and Majoob, and that's it, because that's all he really has. It is cool to get another version that actually does fight and have, material that was from the anime, so that's cool. King Vegeta, very specifically, this is the DBS version of King Vegeta. They did the same thing with Bardock, so I can assume that we will get a DBZ version of him, just because when he was in Tenkaichi 3, he had a DBZ version, right? But I love that he's got the purple glow around him when he's doing, I believe this is his ultimate attack. He looks really fucking cool, and I can't wait to hear the interaction between him and Vegeta. That's going to be awesome. Chilai, big surprise. Chilai is not playable in any Dragon Ball game, okay? With the exception of maybe Dragon Ball Legends and maybe like Dokkan, which don't really count. Dragon Ball Legends, she's just like a assist character for Broly, so you don't actually get to like play as her, if I recall correctly. So again, Tenkaichi is the game, right? It is the game where you're going to be getting these very obscure niche characters that have like barely any material and get added to the game as a playable character. And there are people who have asked for her. I know for a fact. There are people who genuinely wanted her playable, and I think that's good because this is, Sparking Zero, which has such heavy Broly movie promotion. So we're finally getting her along with the Arctic, Glacier, Bitter Tundra, I think they call it in this game. So that's cool. And also Lemo comes in during one of her specials. I believe it's her ultimate. So that's fucking cool as well. Creating a whole new model for Lemo is a big W. Jocko, yes, he is coming through. He's got his Dokkan. Lots of, I don't want to say inspired because he was first, but reminds me of the Gamma. So if you like the cool sound effects and explosions and like superhero type shit, then Jocko is your guy. That is, I think, the only other... I think those are all the DBS characters. It's Chilai, Jocko, and I think Champa are the only ones, if I recall correctly. We'll see. I'll have to go through. Vegeta GT, I was honestly very surprised that they were going to be adding him this soon. I thought they were going to wait a bit, but I think a lot of us expected him to eventually get added. Again, was not playable in the original games. You could only use Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta standalone by himself. They even categorize him as something else. They call him Vegeta End or whatever, or something like... Vegeta Second Form, which is the Vegeta from the Buu Saga, okay? And then they added the Super Saiyan 4 tag on him, right? So, again, you cannot sit there and tell me that Tenkaichi 3 is just a better... It's just overall, in total package, better. It's not anymore. I don't think it is anymore. I personally don't believe that. I mean, if you want to, if that's your opinion, it is what it is. But I mean, like, hey, fuck, you don't get to play as GT Vegeta. That's awesome. We get to play as GT Vegeta. It looks like he does have Final Shine attack. It looks like maybe it's slightly animated differently, just because, I mean, again, there's not a whole lot of material that they can use, but they do have new stuff for him. So he looks really fucking cool. I wouldn't get my hopes up, but it would be nice if we could get a version of him without his jacket, and he just has the red tank top. I always thought that was cool. He can go Super Saiyan as well, and it looks like he's also using Final Shine attack again. So it's like, I guess, I don't know if that's going to be, if they're going to convert one of his Final Shines into a Super. We'll see. GT Trunks, big surprise. I don't think GT Trunks is playable in the other Tenkaichi games. I could be wrong about that. I know he's playable in Xenoverse 2, but this is a big plus. I'm always down for more GT-based characters, and he does have completely fresh new animations. I can't exactly, that's the thing. I don't know which one is which, but we saw there is a team up between Super Saiyan GT Trunks and, what is it? Super Saiyan GT Vegeta. There is a team up ultimate for them, right? I'm going to assume that is Super Saiyan GT Trunks' ultimate, okay? But for GT Trunks base, I believe his ultimate, and I could be wrong about this, but I believe his ultimate is the one where it is the Dragon Ball GT intro, where it has Goku, Pan, and then Trunks fly in. So I think those are all part of it. You can correct me if I'm wrong. We'll see whenever it drops, but that animation is beautiful, and they did such a good job. And again, you cannot sit there and say that the Sparking Zero team, is a lazy, like, bitches. Like, you can't be saying that shit, dude. They put so much love into something like that they didn't even have to do that. And they did it. They're adding in animations and getting as much material from intros, you know, openings, and just whatever they possibly could get. Like, I mean, people say scraping the bottom of the barrel, but this works, bro. They scrape in the bottom of the barrel, and they actually found some fucking gold, little gold fucking nuggets on the bottom. Like, they got some good shit here, bro. All right, so yeah, GT Super Saiyan Trunks looks awesome. Cannot wait for him. And then finally, Nova Shenron got confirmed. I saw some people saying, oh, what about Ai Shenron and stuff? Could be one of the characters. But again, we never had Ai Shenron playable. If I recall correctly, he was not playable in the original Tenkaichi games. He's playable in Xenoverse 2, but not in this one. But Nova, I mean, it makes sense to add him over anything because he was in the Tenkaichi games, right? So yeah, that is the total of all the characters. If we move on over to here, I did want to at least show you guys the official character portraits, and I wanted to go over something very interesting about these portraits, and the fact that they have very unique, like, poses, okay, for the most part. Like, if you go through and you look at some of these other characters, like, you know, Pan, they all have a similar stance, right? Like, a very similar stance. You see how they're kind of lined up? Like, everybody does, like, there's not a lot of unique stances. Like, this one's a little bit more unique with Gogeta, but these, you'll definitely see, they start to get pretty unique. So here's Bardock. This is the pose that when he's walking towards him after, you know, towards Chilled after he transforms. So that's something, you know, iconic. We have Champa, who, with the finger up, right? That's an icon. I mean, I say iconic, but, like, that's an actual, like, you could take a shot from the anime or from some other promotional art, and that's an actual thing. Chilai, hand on, you know, the hip and the gun up, right? Chilled, posing up. Right? This is a specific pose. This is the Frieza race pose. Demon King Piccolo stands up, but he's got the hand up like that. Directly from, like, a shot from the anime, dog. Ader, look at Ader's face. He looks so fucking traumatized. He's posed up. Basha, I mean, you can't really get too crazy with her. She just, you know, both hands on the hips, stanced up. Come on, bro. General Blue doing the pose. This is the pose that General Blue does. Like, let's fucking go, dog. Grandpa, look at Grandpa Gohan. We definitely getting a version without. The mask has to be an accessory because if they got this little motherfucker, you know, stands up, standing fucking menacingly. He's just standing there menacingly, all right, with the halo, hands behind the back, just directly right in front of you. This motherfucker wants all the smoke. You do not mess with this man, all right? Bro got these rings on his... He got fucking onion rings. He got Funyuns on his fit. Like, let's go. Hellfighter 17, just stanced up. Kind of expected. Pretty basic. It's funny. It's Hellfighter 17. Hellfighter 17 literally is just DBZ 17. Like, let me... Here, hold on. Where is DBZ 17 real quick? See? Look at that. They gave him a brand new pose, right? And he actually, his render looks like way better too. Like his face looks better. Maybe that's just me. Jocko posed up exactly. He's just doing exactly what he does in his ultimate. King Vegeta, one arm up. Oh, King Vegeta's outfit is very cool. I love it. We got Mercenary Tao, stance up, hands behind the back, Mighty Mask. Goten and Trunks team up. That's pretty gas. Nam. Perfect. Oops. Oh, where the fuck am I going? Nova Shenron, stanced up. Pycon, arms crossed, stanced up in a different direction. Got my boy Thouser, aka Salza, arms crossed. Looking good. Super 17, doing the hair flip thing or whatever. That's cool. Supreme Kai. Okay. He's not doing the face, but this is when he's posed up and he's, you know which one I'm talking about, right? I mean, that's a Supreme Kai fucking stance right there, if I ever seen one. Tora, I love that. Hand crossed over, other hand grabbing the bicep. Looking fire. Now look at this, dude. GT Trunks has like the most fucking sauce out of every other character. Like, come on, man. This is GT Trunks. That's just his fucking thing. I don't know. He's got to do the salute shit, but he's like dashing directly at you. Got good perspective and everything. Like they actually cooked with the art, man. Anyway, Super Saiyan Trunks, this one's lame. He just stands up. The base GT Trunks got so much more aura, bruh. I do hope we can, again, probably not, but I do hope we can use the one without the coat. GT Trunks with the black long sleeve shirt and the blue bandana is a fire design in my opinion, okay? Kidoob, he just kind of stands up. His head is fucking massive. We got GT Vegeta. Look at how buff GT Vegeta's got muscles, man. Like, damn. Super Saiyan. Aw, yeah. Posed up. Again, arm crossed over. Hand on the fucking bicep. You already know it. Let's go. All right, we got one last character, and that's Zangya. You know, touching her hair and there, all that shit. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Last thing. We going on the Japanese website. They have all the stuff. Neo DLC for Sparking Zero is here. We got the trailer, which we've gone over a million times. The playable characters, the costume and blast / ultimate blast, battle stage, and solo mode. So this confirms that the costumes and outfits, they won't just give ultimate techniques. They will also give regular supers and stuff, right? So here's the official art, which we've seen, but a lot more HD, looking good. Got the trailer and everything. So here's everything if you need to see the, I guess, you know, same thing that we just saw. I don't think there are any other new extra screenshots. It's pretty much the same 27 characters here. But we have the outfits. So these are all the confirmed outfits so far. We'll do another video breaking down the outfits and what's missing. There are only 10, and they said 20 plus. So that means we're missing at minimum 10 other outfits, right? And then confirmed there are only 4 new stages, but they categorize the Earth and Planet Vegeta stage, you know, as separate. So that's a thing there. So 5 in total, I guess, if you want to count that. And then we have the new game mode and everything. So there you have it, my friends. Those are all the new playable characters for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. There are going to be a few others that are missing. I'll go over that in a different video, but comment down below so I can get some ideas of what you guys think the other, at minimum, 3 characters plus are. And yeah, thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe to your channel, ring my notification bell, and peace out.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.